You're taking this really well, Puck. So tell me, do you want a job? Puck considered the question as he planted the heel of his boot firmly against the door. The door ripped open and cast splinters off its frame. New daylight flooded the garage, which was wide and sweeping and mostly empty. At its center, a skinny old woman in a tattered coat sat on a metal folding chair. Zip ties bound her ankles to the chair legs and her arms behind her back. An oily shop rag was coiled around her face, blinding her. He wasn't sure how he felt about the idea of his younger sister signing his paychecks. Not because he had a problem with taking orders from a woman, of course. Some of his best COs had been self-proclaimed tough broads. It was only because he could remember all those summer evenings his teenage self had spent mercilessly grinding Val into the mud under the guise of teaching her karate. If Val were to become his boss, he could just imagine her drawing on those same memories as an excuse to stick her older brother with the Black Ops independent contractor equivalent of latrine duty. Two men in puffy winter coats loomed over the old woman bound to the chair. When Puck kicked the door in, they spun. One reached for the pistol at his hip, fumbling with the layers of coat and undercoat stubbornly separating him from his weapon. The other had an AK slung over his shoulder, and a meaty fist wrapped in layers of shop rags, stained red at the knuckles. Their mouths fell open as Puck slid out of the doorway and lifted his pistol. Then Puck wondered if Val would be his boss if he said yes. She hadn't exactly given him a good rundown of the job before they'd stormed the gate, after all. But she had said something about being an agent of Odin. Perhaps she was just the face of this new Valkyrie project, and there was some Old Norse Charlie equivalent behind the scenes, coordinating multiple hellbound angels. Val stepped into the doorway with a pistol in each hand. It was ridiculous form, of course. You couldn't even try to aim when you were double-fisting any sort of firearm. But the two thugs probably weren't paying much attention to Val's gun discipline. No, they were probably paying more attention to the massive black wings that filled the doorway, blocking out the sun and casting an unholy dark shadow through the garage. "Drop your weapons!"